Picture this. It's Monday morning, and your to-do list is already a mile long. You've got deadlines looming, meetings back to back, and a mountain of emails waiting for your attention. By the end of the day, you're exhausted, but somehow you've barely scratched the surface of what you needed to accomplish. Sound familiar? If you've ever felt like time is slipping through your fingers, you're not alone. In fact, this struggle is as old as time itself, literally. But what if I told you there's an ancient philosophy that can help you take back control of your schedule, your focus, and ultimately your life? That philosophy is Stoicism. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardship or staying calm in the face of chaos. It's a practical, actionable way of thinking that teaches us how to prioritize what truly matters, let go of what doesn't, and make the most of every single moment. And when it comes to managing time, the Stoics were masters. They understood that time is our most precious resource, one that, once spent, can never be regained. In this video, we're diving into 25 powerful Stoic techniques that will help you master your time and transform the way you approach your days. From reflecting on your mortality to embracing simplicity, these strategies are designed to help you cut through the noise, focus on what's essential, and live with intention. Whether you're overwhelmed by a packed schedule or just looking to make your days more meaningful, these timeless principles will give you the tools you need to take charge of your time and your life. So, if you're ready to stop chasing the clock and start making every moment count, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with actionable insights that can help you reclaim your time, reduce stress, and live with greater purpose. Let's get started. Now, let's dive into the first Stoic technique, one that might sound a bit intense at first but is incredibly powerful when it comes to managing your time. Memento Mori, or remember death. At its core, this practice is about reflecting on the inevitability of death, not to dwell on it in a morbid way, but to use it as a tool to sharpen your focus and prioritize what truly matters. The Stoics believed that remembering the shortness of life could help us stop wasting time on trivial things and instead direct our energy toward what's meaningful. Take Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers and a Roman emperor. Despite his immense responsibilities, he often reminded himself of his mortality in his personal writings. He wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." This wasn't about fear or despair, it was about clarity. By acknowledging that his time was limited, Marcus Aurelius was able to cut through distractions and focus on his duties as a leader, a thinker, and a human being. So, how can you apply this mindset to your daily life? Start by taking a moment each morning to remind yourself that your time is finite. Ask yourself, if today were my last day, would I be proud of how I spent it? This simple reflection can help you identify what's truly important and let go of the things that don't align with your values or goals. It's not about rushing through life in a panic, but about living with intention and purpose. For example, if you've been putting off a meaningful project or avoiding a difficult conversation, Memento Mori can give you the push you need to take action. It's a reminder that procrastination isn't just wasting time, it's wasting life. By keeping this perspective in mind, you'll find it easier to focus on the tasks that matter most and let go of the distractions that don't. This technique isn't about fear, it's about freedom. When you remember that your time is limited, you're less likely to get caught up in petty arguments, endless scrolling, or tasks that don't contribute to your growth or happiness. Instead, you'll find yourself more present, more focused, and more aligned with what truly matters. And with that mindset in place, you're ready to explore the next Stoic technique, which builds on this idea of preparation and focus, premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. But more on that in just a moment. Now, let's shift our focus to the second Stoic technique, one that's all about preparation and foresight, premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This practice might sound a bit dramatic at first, but it's actually a practical and empowering way to manage your time and reduce stress. At its core, premeditatio malorum is about anticipating potential challenges or setbacks before they happen, so you're mentally and practically prepared to handle them. The Stoics believed that by imagining the worst-case scenarios, you could strip away the fear and uncertainty that often come with unexpected obstacles. Think of it as a mental rehearsal for life's curveballs. When you've already considered what could go wrong, you're less likely to be caught off guard and more likely to respond calmly and effectively. For example, let's say you have an important presentation coming up. Instead of just hoping everything goes smoothly, take a moment to think about what could go wrong. What if the technology fails? What if you forget a key point? By visualizing these possibilities, you can prepare backup plans, like having printed notes or practicing your speech without slides. This way, if something does go wrong, you're ready to adapt without panicking. This technique isn't just for big events, it's incredibly useful for daily planning too. Imagine you're planning a busy day with back-to-back meetings. What if one meeting runs late? What if traffic delays your commute? By anticipating these potential disruptions, you can build buffer time into your schedule or prioritize tasks that can be rescheduled if needed. This kind of proactive thinking helps you stay in control even when things don't go as planned. Another way to apply premeditatio malorum is by reflecting on your long-term goals. Let's say you're working on a big project. What obstacles might you face along the way? Maybe it's a lack of resources, a tight deadline, or even self-doubt. By identifying these challenges early, you can create strategies to overcome them, whether that's breaking the project into smaller steps, seeking support from others, or setting realistic timelines. The beauty of this technique is that it doesn't just reduce stress, it also saves time. When you've already thought through potential problems, you spend less time reacting and more time acting. It's like having a mental toolkit ready for whatever comes your way. So, how can you start practicing premeditatio malorum in your own life? Begin by setting aside a few minutes each day to think about your upcoming tasks or goals. Ask yourself, what could go wrong? How can I prepare for it? This simple exercise can help you approach your day with confidence and clarity, knowing that you're ready for whatever challenges may arise. And with this mindset of preparation and resilience, you're ready to explore the next Stoic technique, which builds on the idea of embracing life's uncertainties, amor fati, or loving your fate. But more on that in just a moment. Now, let's turn our attention to the third Stoic technique, one that invites us to embrace life's unpredictability with open arms, amor fati, or loving your fate. This powerful concept, championed by Stoics like Epictetus, teaches us to not only accept but also cherish the unexpected twists and turns that life throws our way. Instead of resisting change or feeling frustrated when plans go awry, amor fati encourages us to see every moment, whether planned or unplanned, as an opportunity for growth and learning. Imagine this: you've carefully mapped out your day, but suddenly a last-minute meeting disrupts your schedule. Instead of viewing this as a setback, amor fati invites you to ask, what can I gain from this? Perhaps the meeting offers a chance to connect with a colleague, learn something new, or even practice patience and adaptability. By shifting your perspective, you transform what could have been a source of stress into a moment of potential growth. Epictetus, one of the most influential Stoic philosophers, exemplified this mindset. Born into slavery, he faced countless hardships, yet he chose to see his circumstances as opportunities to cultivate resilience and wisdom. He famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This idea lies at the heart of amor fati. It's about recognizing that while we can't always control external events, we can control how we respond to them. So how can you start practicing amor fati in your own life? Begin by reframing disruptions as opportunities. For instance, if a project at work takes an unexpected turn, instead of feeling defeated, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I use this situation to improve my skills or approach? This simple shift in mindset can help you approach challenges with curiosity and resilience rather than frustration. Another way to embrace amor fati is by practicing gratitude for the present moment, even when it doesn't align with your plans. Let's say you're stuck in traffic on your way to an important event. Instead of dwelling on the delay, use the time to reflect, listen to a podcast, or simply enjoy a moment of stillness. By finding value in the unexpected, you cultivate a sense of peace and adaptability that serves you well in all areas of life. The beauty of amor fati is that it doesn't just help you manage time, it helps you reclaim it. When you stop resisting what's outside your control and start embracing it, you free up mental energy that would otherwise be spent on worry or frustration. This allows you to focus on what truly matters, your actions, your mindset, and your ability to grow through every experience. As we move forward, the next Stoic technique builds on this foundation of control and perspective, guiding us to focus on what we can influence and let go of what we can't. But more on that in just a moment. Now, let's explore the fourth Stoic technique, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy that can transform how you approach your time and energy, the dichotomy of control. This principle, deeply rooted in the teachings of Stoics like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, invites us to clearly distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. By focusing our efforts on the former and letting go of the latter, we can reduce stress, improve productivity, and reclaim our time. At its core, the dichotomy of control teaches us that we have power over our own actions, thoughts, and priorities, but very little control over external events, other people's opinions, or even the outcomes of our efforts. For example, you can decide to wake up early and plan your day, but you can't control whether a sudden rainstorm disrupts your commute. The Stoics believed that trying to control the uncontrollable is a recipe for frustration and wasted energy. Instead, they encouraged us to channel our focus into what we can influence, our own choices and responses. So, how can you apply this principle to time management? Start by identifying the aspects of your day that are truly within your control. For instance, you can decide how much time to dedicate to a project, whether to check your email first thing in the morning or how to respond to interruptions. These are areas where your effort and intention can make a real difference. On the other hand, things like traffic delays, last-minute requests from others, or unexpected technical issues are outside your control. Recognizing this distinction allows you to stop wasting mental energy on things you can't change and instead focus on what you can. One practical way to implement the dichotomy of control is to create a control list. At the start of each day, write down the tasks and decisions that are within your power to influence. This might include setting priorities, allocating time for deep work, or deciding how to handle distractions. Then, make a separate list of things you can't control, such as how others respond to your work or whether a meeting runs over schedule. By visually separating these two categories, you train your mind to focus on what matters and let go of what doesn't. Another tip is to practice acceptance when faced with the uncontrollable. For example, if a colleague cancels a meeting at the last minute, instead of feeling frustrated, use the extra time to tackle a task on your to-do list or take a moment to recharge. This shift in mindset not only saves time but also helps you maintain a sense of calm and purpose, even when things don't go as planned. The dichotomy of control also encourages us to let go of perfectionism. Often, we waste time trying to control every detail of a project or worrying about how others perceive our work. But the Stoics remind us that true freedom comes from focusing on our own effort and letting go of the outcome. By doing so, you free up mental space to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your priorities, and your ability to make the most of each moment. As we move forward, the next Stoic technique builds on this foundation of focus and intentionality, offering a structured approach to organizing your day. But more on that in just a moment. Now, let's turn our attention to the fifth Stoic technique, a practice that can transform how you begin each day: morning reflection. This ancient Stoic habit, embraced by philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Seneca, is about starting your day with intention and clarity. By taking just a few moments to reflect on your goals, priorities, and mindset, you can set the tone for a focused and productive day ahead. The Stoics believed that how you start your day shapes how you live it. Morning reflection isn't about rushing through a checklist or scrolling through your phone. Instead, it's a deliberate pause to align your thoughts and actions with what truly matters. Think of it as a mental warm-up, preparing you to face the day with purpose and resilience. So, how can you incorporate this practice into your routine? Let's break it down step by step. First, find a quiet space where you can sit undisturbed for at least 5 to 10 minutes. This could be a corner of your home, a park bench, or even your car before you start your commute. The key is to create a moment of stillness before the day's demands take over. Once you're settled, begin by reflecting on your goals. Ask yourself, what do I want to accomplish today? What are my top priorities? The Stoics emphasized focusing on what's within your control, so frame your goals in terms of your actions and efforts, not the outcomes. For example, instead of saying, "I want to finish this project," you might say, "I will dedicate 2 hours of focused work to this project." Next, consider the challenges you might face. This is where the Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, comes into play. Imagine potential obstacles, a difficult conversation, a tight deadline, or a distracting environment, and mentally prepare how you'll handle them. This isn't about dwelling on negativity, but about equipping yourself to respond calmly and effectively when challenges arise. After this, take a moment to reflect on your values. The Stoics believed that living in alignment with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline was the key to a fulfilling life. Ask yourself, how can I embody these values today? How can I act with integrity, even in small ways? This reflection helps you stay grounded and focused on what truly matters, even when the day gets busy. Finally, end your morning reflection with a moment of gratitude. The Stoics often practiced gratitude as a way to cultivate contentment and perspective. Think of 1 or 2 things you're grateful for, whether it's your health, your relationships, or simply the opportunity to pursue your goals. This simple practice can shift your mindset from scarcity to abundance, helping you approach the day with positivity and resilience. To make this practice stick, consider pairing it with a physical routine like stretching, journaling, or enjoying a cup of tea. The combination of mental and physical preparation can create a powerful ritual that sets you up for success. Over time, you'll find that this intentional start to your day not only boosts your productivity, but also deepens your sense of purpose and fulfillment. As we move forward, the next Stoic technique builds on this foundation of intentionality, offering a structured approach to organizing your day, but more on that in just a moment. Now, let's shift our focus to the sixth Stoic technique, a practice that complements the morning reflection we just explored, the evening review. While the morning sets the tone for your day, the evening is your opportunity to reflect, learn, and grow from what has unfolded. This Stoic habit, practiced by figures like Seneca and Epictetus, is about taking stock of your day with honesty and intention, allowing you to refine your time management skills and deepen your self-awareness. The evening review is more than just a recap of your day. It's a deliberate exercise in self-improvement. By examining your actions, decisions, and outcomes, you can identify patterns, celebrate progress, and pinpoint areas for growth. The Stoics believed that this practice was essential for living a virtuous life, as it encourages accountability and continuous learning. Over time, this habit not only sharpens your ability to manage time, but also helps you align your daily actions with your long-term goals. So, how can you make the evening review a meaningful part of your routine? Let's walk through the steps. First, find a quiet moment at the end of your day, ideally before you wind down for bed. This could be as simple as sitting at your desk, on your couch, or even lying in bed with a notebook. The key is to create a space where you can reflect without distractions. Begin by asking yourself two fundamental questions. What went well today and what could have gone better? Start with the positives. Acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small. Did you complete a task you've been putting off? Did you handle a difficult situation with patience or courage? Recognizing these moments not only boosts your confidence but also reinforces the behaviors you want to continue. Next, turn your attention to the challenges. Be honest but compassionate with yourself. Did you get sidetracked by distractions? Did you struggle to stay focused on your priorities? The Stoics emphasized learning from setbacks rather than dwelling on them. By identifying what didn't go as planned, you can uncover opportunities to improve. For example, if you found yourself overwhelmed by a packed schedule, consider how you might better prioritize or delegate tasks in the future. Once you've reflected on the day's events, take a moment to consider your alignment with Stoic virtues. Did you act with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline? Were there moments when you could have responded more thoughtfully or acted with greater integrity? This part of the review helps you stay grounded in your values, ensuring that your actions reflect the kind of person you aspire to be. Finally, end your evening review with gratitude. Just as in the morning, gratitude helps you cultivate a sense of contentment and perspective. Reflect on the people, experiences, or opportunities that enriched your day. This practice not only fosters positivity but also reminds you of the abundance in your life, even on challenging days. To make this habit stick, consider pairing it with a calming activity, like journaling your reflections or enjoying a cup of herbal tea. Over time, the evening review becomes a powerful tool for self-improvement, helping you refine your time management skills and live with greater intention. As we move forward, the next Stoic technique will build on this foundation, offering a structured approach to organizing your day for maximum productivity and focus. Now, let's turn our attention to the seventh Stoic technique, one that brings structure and focus to your daily routine: time blocking. This method, rooted in Stoic discipline, is about dedicating specific blocks of time to specific tasks, ensuring that your day is organized and purposeful. By carving out intentional periods for your priorities, you can minimize distractions, reduce decision fatigue, and make the most of your time. Time blocking is more than just a scheduling tool. It's a way to align your actions with your values and goals. The Stoics believed in living with intention, and this practice allows you to do just that. Instead of reacting to whatever comes your way, you take control of your day by assigning time to what truly matters. Whether it's work, family, or personal growth, time blocking helps you stay focused and productive. So, how can you implement time blocking in your daily life? Let's break it down. Start by identifying your key priorities for the day. These could be work tasks, personal projects, or even moments of rest and reflection. Once you've listed them, assign each priority a specific time block. For example, you might dedicate the first 2 hours of your morning to deep work, followed by a block for exercise, and then a block for meetings or errands. The key is to be realistic about how much time each task will take and to stick to your schedule as closely as possible. One of the strengths of time blocking is its flexibility. While it provides structure, it also allows for adjustments when unexpected events arise. If a task takes longer than expected, you can shift your blocks around to accommodate it. The Stoics would remind us that while we can't control everything, we can control how we respond. Time blocking gives you the framework to adapt without losing sight of your priorities. To make this technique even more effective, consider incorporating Stoic principles into your blocks. For instance, you might start your day with a block for morning reflection, as we discussed earlier, or end it with an evening review. You could also include blocks for practicing gratitude or mindfulness, ensuring that your schedule reflects not just productivity but also personal growth and well-being. Let's look at an example of a time-blocking schedule. Imagine your day begins at 7 in the morning. You might start with a 30-minute block for morning reflection and journaling, followed by a 2-hour block for focused work on your most important task. After a short break, you could dedicate an hour to exercise, then another block for meetings or collaborative work. In the afternoon, you might set aside time for personal projects or learning, and in the evening, you could wind down with a block for family time or relaxation. By the end of the day, you'll have accomplished your priorities while still leaving room for rest and reflection. The beauty of time blocking lies in its simplicity and effectiveness. It's a practical way to bring Stoic discipline into your daily life, helping you stay focused, organized, and aligned with your values. As we move forward, the next technique will build on this foundation, offering strategies for setting boundaries and protecting your time from distractions. Now, let's explore the 8th Stoic technique, one that empowers you to take control of your time by mastering a simple yet powerful word: no. The power of saying no is rooted in the Stoic belief that setting boundaries is essential for living a purposeful and balanced life. In a world full of distractions and endless demands, learning to say no is not just a skill, it's a necessity. The Stoics understood that time is our most valuable resource, and wasting it on things that don't align with our values or goals is a form of self-sabotage. By saying no to unnecessary commitments, distractions, and obligations, you create space for what truly matters. This isn't about being selfish or dismissive, it's about being intentional with your time and energy. As Seneca wisely said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Saying no is a way to reclaim that time and direct it toward what brings meaning and fulfillment. So, how can you practice the art of saying no in a way that aligns with Stoic principles? Start by identifying your priorities. What are the activities, relationships, and goals that matter most to you? Once you're clear on these, it becomes easier to evaluate requests and opportunities. If something doesn't align with your priorities, it's okay to decline. Remember, every time you say yes to something unimportant, you're saying no to something that could be meaningful. One effective strategy is to pause before responding to requests. This Stoic pause allows you to reflect on whether the commitment aligns with your values and goals. It also gives you the chance to respond thoughtfully rather than impulsively. For example, if someone asks you to take on an additional project at work, you might say, "Let me think about it and get back to you." This simple delay can help you make a more intentional decision. Another approach is to offer a polite but firm refusal. You don't need to over-explain or apologize excessively. A straightforward response like, "I appreciate the offer, but I'm unable to commit to that right now," is both respectful and clear. The Stoics would remind us that we can't control how others react to our decisions, but we can control how we communicate them. By being honest and kind, you maintain your integrity while protecting your time. It's also helpful to set boundaries in advance. For instance, if you know that evenings are reserved for family or personal time, communicate that to others. Let them know that you're unavailable during those hours unless it's an emergency. This proactive approach reduces the likelihood of unnecessary requests and helps others respect your time. Finally, remember that saying no is a form of self-respect. It's a way of honoring your priorities and staying true to your values. The Stoics believed that living virtuously means living in alignment with what matters most. By saying no to distractions and unnecessary commitments, you're saying yes to a life of purpose, focus, and fulfillment. As we move forward, the next technique will build on this idea of protecting your time, offering practical strategies for staying focused and minimizing distractions. Now let's shift our attention to the 9th Stoic technique, one that invites us to fully embrace the here and now, focus on the present moment. The Stoics, particularly thinkers like Seneca, believed that the present is the only moment we truly have control over. The past is gone and the future is uncertain, but the present is where life unfolds. Seneca famously wrote, "The greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today." In other words, when we're constantly distracted by what's next or what's behind us, we miss the richness of what's right in front of us. Living in the present moment isn't just a philosophical idea, it's a practical tool for managing time more effectively. When we're fully engaged in the task at hand, we work more efficiently, make fewer mistakes, and experience greater satisfaction. Multitasking, on the other hand, often leads to scattered focus and wasted energy. The Stoics would argue that trying to do too much at once is a form of distraction, pulling us away from what truly matters. So, how can we cultivate this Stoic focus on the present? One powerful method is mindfulness, a practice that aligns closely with Stoic principles. Mindfulness simply means paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about being fully aware of what you're doing, thinking, and feeling right now. For example, if you're working on a project, mindfulness means giving it your full attention rather than letting your mind wander to your to-do list or upcoming deadlines. A simple way to practice mindfulness is through focused breathing. Take a few moments each day to sit quietly and pay attention to your breath. Notice the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. If your mind starts to drift, gently bring your focus back to your breath. This exercise trains your mind to stay present, which can then carry over into other areas of your life. Another technique is to break your day into smaller, intentional chunks. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, focus on one task at a time. Set a timer for 25 minutes and commit to working on that task without interruption. This approach, often called the Pomodoro technique, helps you stay present and productive while avoiding the overwhelm of multitasking. The Stoics also remind us to savor the small moments. Whether it's enjoying a meal, having a conversation, or taking a walk, give these experiences your full attention. When you're fully present, even ordinary moments can feel extraordinary. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the very last act of your life." This mindset encourages us to live with intention and appreciation for the present. Finally, let go of the need to constantly plan or worry about the future. While it's important to set goals and prepare, obsessing over what's to come only robs you of the joy and clarity available in the present. Trust that by focusing on what you can do today, you're laying the foundation for a meaningful tomorrow. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how journaling can help clarify your thoughts and priorities, building on the foundation of mindfulness and presence we've just discussed. Now let's turn our attention to the 10th Stoic technique, one that has been a cornerstone of Stoic practice for centuries: journaling for clarity. The Stoics understood the power of writing as a tool for self-reflection and growth. By putting pen to paper, we can untangle our thoughts, set clear priorities, and track our progress over time. Think of journaling as a mirror for your mind. It reflects your inner world, helping you see what's truly important and what might be holding you back. One of the most famous Stoic journalers was Marcus Aurelius, whose personal writings, later published as Meditations, were never intended for public eyes. Instead, they served as a private space for him to process his thoughts, reinforce his values, and remind himself of his purpose. This practice wasn't about perfection or eloquence, it was about honesty and clarity. And that's exactly what we can aim for in our own journaling. So, how can journaling help with time management? First, it allows you to declutter your mind. When you write down your thoughts, you're able to see them more clearly. Instead of carrying a mental to-do list that feels overwhelming, you can transfer it to paper and organize it into manageable steps. This simple act of externalizing your thoughts can reduce stress and help you focus on what truly matters. A great way to start is with a morning journaling routine. Begin by asking yourself a few key questions. What are my top priorities for today? What challenges might I face and how can I prepare for them? What am I grateful for? These prompts help you set intentions for the day ahead while grounding you in a mindset of gratitude and preparedness. For example, you might write, "Today, I will focus on completing the project proposal by noon. I anticipate distractions from emails, so I'll set aside specific times to check my inbox. I'm grateful for the opportunity to work on something meaningful." Evening journaling is equally powerful. Take a few minutes to reflect on your day. What went well? What could I have done differently? Did I stay true to my priorities? This practice helps you learn from your experiences and refine your approach to time management. For instance, you might note, "I stayed focused during my morning work block, but I got sidetracked by social media in the afternoon. Tomorrow, I'll use a website blocker to minimize distractions." Another effective technique is to use your journal to track progress toward long-term goals. Break down your goals into smaller, actionable steps and record your achievements along the way. This not only keeps you motivated but also helps you see how far you've come. For example, if your goal is to write a book, you might write, "Today I wrote 500 words. That's one step closer to completing my first draft." Journaling also provides a space to explore your values and align your actions with them. Ask yourself, am I spending my time on things that truly matter to me? Am I living in accordance with my principles? These deeper reflections can help you make more intentional choices about how you spend your time. To make journaling a habit, keep it simple and consistent. You don't need to write pages every day, just a few sentences can make a difference. The key is to be honest and intentional. Over time, you'll find that this practice not only clarifies your thoughts, but also strengthens your ability to manage your time with purpose and focus. As we move forward, the next technique will introduce the 80-20 rule, a principle that aligns perfectly with Stoic efficiency and helps you focus on the tasks that yield the greatest results. Now let's shift our focus to the 11th Stoic technique, one that can transform how you approach your daily tasks, the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. This principle suggests that 80% of your results often come from just 20% of your efforts. For the Stoics, this idea aligns perfectly with their emphasis on efficiency and focusing on what truly matters. By identifying and prioritizing the tasks that yield the greatest impact, you can make the most of your time and energy. The 80-20 rule isn't just a modern productivity hack. It's a timeless concept that resonates deeply with Stoic philosophy. Think about it. If you can pinpoint the 20% of your activities that drive the majority of your success, you can eliminate unnecessary busy work and focus on what truly moves the needle. This approach not only saves time but also reduces stress, allowing you to channel your efforts into meaningful, high-impact work. So, how can you apply this principle to your daily life? Start by taking a step back and analyzing your tasks. Ask yourself, which activities contribute the most to my goals? Which ones bring the greatest value or satisfaction? For example, if you're a writer, you might find that the 20% of your time spent drafting new content generates 80% of your creative output. Or if you're a business owner, you might discover that a small number of clients or products account for the majority of your revenue. Once you've identified these high-impact tasks, prioritize them. Dedicate your best hours when your energy and focus are at their peak to these activities. Protect this time fiercely, minimizing distractions and interruptions. For instance, if writing is your high-impact task, block off your mornings for uninterrupted writing sessions. Let everything else wait until later in the day. Another practical way to apply the 80-20 rule is to regularly review and declutter your to-do list. Ask yourself, which tasks on this list truly matter? Which ones can I delegate, postpone, or eliminate altogether? This process helps you stay focused on what's essential and avoid getting bogged down by low-priority tasks. Remember, the goal isn't to do more, it's to do what matters most. The the Stoics would also encourage you to reflect on how this principle applies to your values and long-term goals. Are you spending your time on activities that align with your principles and bring you closer to your aspirations? If not, it might be time to reassess and reallocate your efforts. For example, if your goal is to build stronger relationships, prioritize the 20% of interactions that deepen your connections, rather than spreading yourself thin across countless superficial engagements. By embracing the 80-20 rule, you're not just managing your time more effectively, you're living in alignment with Stoic principles of focus, intentionality, and efficiency. This approach helps you cut through the noise, concentrate on what truly matters, and make the most of every moment. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how Stoicism teaches us to detach from outcomes, focusing instead on the effort we put into our actions. This mindset can help reduce anxiety and keep you productive, even when things don't go as planned. Now, let's turn our attention to the 12th Stoic technique, one that can profoundly shift how you approach your goals and daily tasks, detaching from outcomes. This principle is rooted in the Stoic belief that while we can control our efforts, we cannot always control the results. By focusing on what we can influence, our actions, intentions, and mindset, we free ourselves from the anxiety and frustration that often come with fixating on outcomes. The Stoics understood that life is unpredictable. No matter how carefully we plan or how hard we work, external factors can disrupt even the best-laid plans. Instead of resisting this reality, Stoicism teaches us to embrace it. By detaching from outcomes, we shift our focus to the process itself, the effort we put in, the lessons we learn, and the growth we experience along the way. This mindset not only reduces stress but also helps us stay productive and resilient, even when things don't go as planned. Imagine you're working on a project at work or pursuing a personal goal. You've done everything right, you've prepared thoroughly, worked diligently, and stayed committed. But despite your best efforts, the outcome isn't what you hoped for. If you're attached to the result, this can feel like a failure, leaving you discouraged and anxious. But if you adopt the Stoic approach, you'll recognize that the value lies in the effort you've invested, not just the outcome. You'll see the experience as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and grow rather than a setback. This doesn't mean you stop caring about results altogether. Instead, it's about shifting your perspective. When you focus on doing your best in the moment, you're more likely to stay motivated and engaged regardless of the outcome. For example, if you're training for a marathon, your goal might be to finish the race. But if you detach from that specific outcome and focus on the daily effort showing up for your runs, pushing through challenges, and improving your stamina, you'll find joy and fulfillment in the process itself. Even if you don't finish the race, you'll still have gained strength, discipline, and resilience. Detaching from outcomes also helps you handle setbacks with grace. When things don't go as planned, instead of dwelling on what went wrong, you can ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I improve next time? This reflective approach keeps you moving forward, even in the face of adversity. It's a powerful way to maintain momentum and avoid getting stuck in frustration or self-doubt. To apply this technique in your daily life, start by setting clear intentions for your actions. Ask yourself, what can I control in this situation? What effort can I put in that aligns with my values and goals? Then commit to doing your best regardless of the outcome. When you encounter obstacles or unexpected results, remind yourself that your effort is what matters most. Celebrate the progress you've made, even if it's not the result you initially hoped for. By detaching from outcomes, you're not giving up on your goals. You're simply freeing yourself from the pressure and anxiety that often come with them. This Stoic mindset allows you to stay focused, resilient, and productive, no matter what challenges arise. It's a reminder that while we can't control everything, we can always control how we respond. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how to limit distractions. a key practice for maintaining focus and productivity in a world full of interruptions. This approach builds on the Stoic principles of discipline and intentionality, helping you stay on track even when external forces try to pull you away. Now let's shift our focus to the 13th Stoic technique, one that's especially relevant in today's fast-paced, distraction-filled world, limiting distractions. The Stoics believed that true focus and productivity come from mastering our environment and our impulses. By minimizing external interruptions and cultivating self-discipline, we can reclaim our time and direct our energy toward what truly matters. One of the simplest yet most effective strategies is to turn off notifications on your devices. Whether it's your phone, computer, or tablet, constant alerts pull your attention away from the task at hand. The Stoics would remind us that every time we allow a distraction to interrupt us, we're giving away our focus, a precious resource. By silencing notifications, you create a space where you can fully engage with your work or reflection without unnecessary interruptions. Another powerful approach is to create a dedicated workspace. The Stoics valued order and simplicity, and having a clean, organized environment can help you stay focused. Whether it's a quiet corner of your home or a specific desk, having a designated area for work or study signals to your brain that it's time to concentrate. This physical boundary helps you mentally separate focused work from relaxation or leisure, making it easier to stay on task. Self-discipline is at the heart of this technique. The Stoics taught that we must train ourselves to resist temptations and stay committed to our priorities. This might mean setting specific times for checking emails or social media rather than doing so impulsively throughout the day. It could also involve practicing mindfulness to recognize when your attention is drifting and gently bringing it back to the present moment. Over time, these small acts of discipline build into a habit of sustained focus. Consider the example of Marcus Aurelius, who often reflected on the importance of staying true to his purpose despite the chaos around him. In his writings, he emphasized the need to guard his mind against distractions and remain steadfast in his duties. By adopting a similar mindset, you can train yourself to stay focused even when external pressures or temptations arise. To apply this technique in your daily life, start by identifying your biggest sources of distraction. Is it your phone, social media, or perhaps a cluttered workspace? Once you've pinpointed these, take deliberate steps to minimize their impact. Turn off unnecessary notifications, organize your environment, and set clear boundaries for when and how you engage with potential distractions. Remember, the goal isn't to eliminate all distractions, that's nearly impossible, but to manage them in a way that supports your focus and productivity. By limiting distractions, you're not just creating more time in your day, you're also cultivating a deeper sense of control over your attention and energy. This Stoic-inspired approach helps you stay aligned with your priorities, even in a world full of noise and interruptions. As we move forward, the next technique will explore the art of delegation, a practice that allows you to focus on what truly matters by entrusting tasks to others. This approach builds on the Stoic principles of recognizing your limits and prioritizing your time effectively. Now, let's turn our attention to the 14th Stoic technique, one that's all about working smarter, not harder, the art of delegation. The Stoics understood that no one can do everything alone. Recognizing your limits and trusting others to handle tasks is not a sign of weakness, it's a mark of wisdom and self-awareness. By delegating effectively, you free up your time and energy to focus on what truly matters, aligning with the Stoic principle of prioritizing what's within your control. In both personal and professional settings, delegation starts with understanding your own strengths and limitations. The Stoics believed in knowing yourself deeply, and this includes being honest about what you can realistically accomplish. If you try to take on too much, you risk burnout and spreading yourself too thin. Instead, identify tasks that others can handle just as well, if not better, and trust them to take the reins. This doesn't mean shirking responsibility. It means being strategic about where you direct your efforts. One practical tip for effective delegation is to clearly define the task and expectations. Whether you're assigning a project at work or asking a family member to help with household chores, clarity is key. Explain what needs to be done, why it's important, and what success looks like. This not only ensures the task is completed correctly, but also empowers the person taking it on to feel confident and capable. Another important aspect is choosing the right person for the job. The Stoics valued discernment, and this applies to delegation as well. Consider the skills, interests, and availability of the person you're delegating to. Matching the right task with the right person increases the likelihood of success and reduces the need for micromanagement. Trust is essential here. Once you've delegated, resist the urge to hover or take over. Allow the other person to take ownership and learn from the experience. In a professional setting, delegation can also foster teamwork and growth. When you entrust tasks to colleagues or employees, you're not just lightening your own load, you're giving them opportunities to develop new skills and take on greater responsibilities. This aligns with the Stoic idea of contributing to the greater good and helping others thrive. Similarly, in personal life, delegating tasks to family members or friends can strengthen relationships and create a sense of shared responsibility. A Stoic mindset also reminds us to let go of perfectionism. When you delegate, you're accepting that the outcome might not be exactly as you would have done it, and that's okay. The Stoics taught us to focus on effort rather than results, and this applies to delegation as well. As long as the task is completed to a reasonable standard, it's a win. This mindset reduces stress and allows you to focus on the bigger picture. To put this technique into practice, start by making a list of tasks that you don't necessarily need to handle yourself. Then identify who could take them on and communicate your expectations clearly. Remember, delegation isn't about offloading work. It's about creating space for what truly matters, whether that's pursuing your goals, spending time with loved ones, or simply recharging. By mastering the art of delegation, you're not just managing your time better, you're also embracing the Stoic virtues of wisdom, humility, and trust. This approach allows you to focus on your highest priorities while empowering others to contribute and grow. As we move forward, the next technique will explore the transformative power of gratitude and how it can shift your perspective on time and productivity. Now, let's shift our focus to a practice that has the power to transform not just how you manage your time, but how you experience it: gratitude. The Stoics placed immense value on gratitude, seeing it as a cornerstone of a virtuous and fulfilling life. By cultivating gratitude, you can shift your perspective, making time feel more abundant and meaningful, even when life feels hectic or overwhelming. Gratitude works by redirecting your attention to what you already have rather than what you lack. The Stoics believed that true contentment comes from appreciating the present moment and the resources at your disposal. When you practice gratitude, you're less likely to feel rushed or stressed because you're focused on the value of what's already in your life. This mindset can help you approach your tasks with a sense of calm and purpose, rather than anxiety or frustration. One simple yet powerful way to practice gratitude is through a daily reflection exercise. At the end of each day, take a few moments to write down 3 things you're grateful for. These don't have to be grand or extraordinary. They can be as simple as a kind word from a colleague, a moment of quiet in the morning, or even the opportunity to tackle a challenging task. The act of writing them down helps solidify these moments in your mind, reinforcing a positive outlook and reminding you of the abundance in your life. Another effective exercise is to incorporate gratitude into your morning routine. Before diving into your to-do list, take a moment to mentally acknowledge 1 or 2 things you're thankful for. This sets a positive tone for the day and helps you approach your tasks with a sense of appreciation rather than dread. The Stoics often began their days with reflection, and this practice can serve as a grounding reminder of what truly matters. Gratitude also has a ripple effect on your relationships and interactions. When you express appreciation to others, whether it's a coworker, friend, or family member, you strengthen those connections and create a more supportive environment. This, in turn, can make collaboration and communication more efficient, saving you time and energy in the long run. The Stoics believed in the interconnectedness of all people, and gratitude is a way to honor that connection. It's important to note that practicing gratitude doesn't mean ignoring challenges or difficulties. The Stoics were realists, and they understood that life is full of obstacles. However, they also believed that even in the face of adversity, there's always something to be grateful for. By focusing on these positives, you can maintain a balanced perspective and avoid feeling overwhelmed by the demands on your time. To make gratitude a consistent part of your life, consider pairing it with an existing habit. For example, you might reflect on what you're grateful for while having your morning coffee or during your evening wind-down routine. Over time, this practice will become second nature, helping you approach each day with a sense of abundance and clarity. By embracing gratitude, you're not just managing your time better, you're enriching your experience of it. This Stoic virtue reminds us to appreciate the present moment, find value in what we have, and approach our responsibilities with a sense of purpose. As we move forward, the next technique will explore the power of routine and how it can help you maintain focus and discipline in your daily life. Now, let's turn our attention to a practice that has been a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy for centuries: the power of routine. Stoics like Marcus Aurelius understood that a well-structured daily routine is not just a tool for productivity, it's a foundation for cultivating focus, discipline, and inner peace. By establishing consistent habits, you can create a framework that supports your goals and helps you navigate life's challenges with greater ease. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most famous Stoic philosophers, was also a Roman emperor with immense responsibilities. Despite the demands of his role, he maintained a disciplined routine that allowed him to stay grounded and focused. He began each day with reflection, setting his intentions and reminding himself of his values. This practice helped him approach his duties with clarity and purpose, even in the face of chaos. The Stoics believed that routines are a way to align your actions with your principles. When you have a clear structure for your day, you're less likely to be swayed by distractions or external pressures. Instead, you can focus on what truly matters, making steady progress toward your goals. A routine also reduces decision fatigue, freeing up mental energy for more important tasks. So, how can you create a daily routine that supports productivity and aligns with Stoic principles? Start by identifying your priorities. What are the most important tasks or activities that align with your values and goals? These could include work-related tasks, personal development, or time for reflection. Once you've identified your priorities, allocate specific blocks of time for each one. This approach, often referred to as time blocking, ensures that you dedicate focused attention to what matters most. Next, incorporate moments of reflection into your routine. Just as Marcus Aurelius began his day with introspection, you can start your morning by setting intentions or reviewing your goals. This practice helps you approach the day with a sense of purpose and direction. Similarly, an evening review can help you assess what went well and what could be improved, allowing you to refine your routine over time. Consistency is key when it comes to building a routine. Start small, focusing on 1 or 2 habits at a time, and gradually build from there. For example, you might begin by committing to a morning reflection practice or dedicating a specific hour to deep work. Over time, these habits will become second nature, creating a rhythm that supports your productivity and well-being. It's also important to be flexible. Life is unpredictable, and there will be days when your routine is disrupted. The Stoics remind us that while we can't control external events, we can control how we respond to them. If your routine is interrupted, don't let it derail your entire day. Instead, adapt and refocus, using your values as a guide. Finally, remember that a routine is not about rigidity. It's about creating a structure that serves you. The goal is to design a daily rhythm that helps you stay focused, disciplined, and aligned with your principles. By embracing the power of routine, you can cultivate the kind of steady, purposeful life that the Stoics admired. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how embracing simplicity can help you reduce decision fatigue and focus on what truly matters. Now, let's shift our focus to a principle that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy: the art of embracing simplicity. The Stoics believed that a simple, uncluttered life is not only more manageable but also more fulfilling. By stripping away the unnecessary, you can create space for what truly matters, allowing you to live with greater clarity and purpose. In a world filled with endless distractions and demands, simplicity can feel like a radical act. Yet, the Stoics understood that complexity often leads to stress, overwhelm, and decision fatigue. When your schedule is packed with non-essential tasks, it becomes harder to focus on your priorities and align your actions with your values. This is why Stoic thinkers like Epictetus and Seneca emphasized the importance of living with intention and avoiding excess. So, how can you apply this principle to your daily life? Start by evaluating your commitments. Take a close look at your schedule and ask yourself, are all these activities truly necessary? Do they align with your goals and values? If not, consider letting go of the ones that don't serve you. This might mean saying no to social obligations, decluttering your to-do list, or even stepping back from projects that drain your energy. Another way to embrace simplicity is to reduce decision fatigue. Every day, we're faced with countless choices, from what to wear to what to eat. Over time, these decisions can add up, leaving us mentally exhausted. To combat this, try streamlining your routines. For example, you could create a capsule wardrobe, plan your meals in advance, or establish a consistent morning ritual. By minimizing the number of decisions you need to make, you'll free up mental energy for more important tasks. The Stoics also encourage us to focus on quality over quantity. Instead of trying to do everything, prioritize a few meaningful activities that align with your values. This might mean dedicating more time to deep work, spending quality time with loved ones, or pursuing a passion project. When you focus on what truly matters, you'll find that less really can be more. It's also worth noting that simplicity extends beyond your schedule. Consider decluttering your physical space as well. A cluttered environment can be a source of stress and distraction, making it harder to focus and think clearly. By creating a clean, organized space, you'll foster a sense of calm and clarity that supports your productivity and well-being. Of course, embracing simplicity doesn't mean avoiding challenges or living a life devoid of ambition. Rather, it's about being intentional with your time and energy, ensuring that your actions align with your values. The Stoics remind us that true freedom comes from within, and by simplifying your life, you can create the mental and emotional space needed to pursue what truly matters. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how setting clear intentions can help you stay focused and aligned with your goals. Now, let's turn our attention to a practice that can transform how you approach your time and energy, setting clear intentions. The Stoics believed that knowing your purpose is the foundation of a meaningful and productive life. Without a clear sense of direction, it's easy to get lost in the noise of daily demands, leaving you feeling scattered and unfulfilled. By defining your intentions, you create a roadmap that guides your actions and keeps you aligned with what truly matters. Start by asking yourself a simple but profound question: what do I want my life to stand for? This isn't about setting vague aspirations like "be successful" or "be happy." Instead, it's about identifying the core values that drive you. For the Stoics, living in accordance with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline was the ultimate goal. Take a moment to reflect on what virtues or principles resonate most deeply with you. These will serve as the compass for your intentions. Once you've clarified your values, the next step is to translate them into actionable goals. The Stoics were practical thinkers, and they understood that purpose without action is meaningless. Break your intentions down into specific, measurable steps. For example, if one of your core values is wisdom, you might set a goal to read one book a month on a topic that expands your knowledge. If justice is important to you, you could commit to volunteering regularly or advocating for a cause you believe in. The key is to make your goals concrete and achievable so they don't remain abstract ideals. It's also important to revisit your intentions regularly. Life is dynamic and your priorities may shift over time. The Stoics practiced daily reflection to ensure their actions stayed aligned with their values. Consider setting aside a few minutes each morning or evening to review your goals and assess your progress. Are your daily choices bringing you closer to your intentions? If not, what adjustments can you make? This practice not only keeps you on track but also reinforces your sense of purpose. Another Stoic insight is to focus on the process rather than the outcome. While it's natural to want results, the Stoics remind us that we can't control external circumstances, only our efforts. By setting intentions rooted in your values, you shift your focus to what you can control: your actions, your mindset, and your commitment to growth. This mindset reduces anxiety and helps you stay motivated even when progress feels slow. Finally, remember that setting clear intentions isn't about perfection. The Stoics understood that life is full of challenges and setbacks. What matters is your willingness to keep moving forward, guided by your purpose. When you stumble, as we all do, use it as an opportunity to reflect, learn, and realign with your intentions. This resilience is at the heart of Stoic philosophy and a key to mastering your time. As we continue, the next technique will explore how to avoid overcommitment, a common obstacle that can derail even the best-laid plans. By learning to balance your commitments, you'll create more space for what truly matters. Now, let's shift our focus to a challenge many of us face in our modern, fast-paced lives: overcommitment. The Stoics understood the importance of balance and the dangers of spreading ourselves too thin. They believed that saying yes to everything not only drains our energy but also distracts us from what truly matters. By learning to evaluate our commitments and set boundaries, we can protect our time, energy, and focus for the things that align with our values and goals. The first step in avoiding overcommitment is to take a step back and assess your current obligations. Ask yourself, are these commitments bringing me closer to my intentions, or are they pulling me away? The Stoics emphasized the importance of aligning your actions with your values, and this applies to how you spend your time as well. If a commitment doesn't serve your purpose or contribute to your growth, it may be worth reconsidering. One practical strategy is to create a list of your current commitments and rank them based on their importance and alignment with your values. This exercise helps you identify which activities are essential and which ones you can let go of. Remember, every time you say yes to something, you're saying no to something else, whether it's time with loved ones, personal growth, or simply rest. The Stoics remind us that our time is finite and we must use it wisely. Another key Stoic principle is the power of saying no. This can be difficult, especially if you're someone who wants to help others or avoid disappointing people. But the Stoics teach us that saying no isn't selfish. It's an act of self-respect and clarity. When you decline a request, you're prioritizing your well-being and staying true to your intentions. Practice saying no with kindness and confidence, knowing that it's a necessary step toward maintaining balance. It's also helpful to set clear boundaries around your time and energy. For example, you might decide to limit the number of meetings you attend each week or designate specific times for work and rest. The Stoics valued discipline and self-control, and these qualities are essential for protecting your time from unnecessary demand. By setting boundaries, you create space for what truly matters and reduce the risk of burnout. Finally, remember that avoiding overcommitment is an ongoing practice. Life will always present new opportunities and demands, and it's up to you to evaluate them with clarity and intention. Regularly revisit your commitments and ask yourself if they still align with your values and goals. If not, don't be afraid to make adjustments. The Stoics believe that true freedom comes from living in harmony with your purpose, and that starts with protecting your time and energy. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how to use deadlines wisely, turning them from sources of stress into tools for focus and productivity. By mastering this skill, you'll be better equipped to manage your time and stay aligned with your intentions. Now, let's turn our attention to a tool that often gets a bad reputation: deadlines. While many of us see deadlines as sources of stress, the Stoics viewed them differently. For them, deadlines weren't something to dread, they were tools for focus and clarity. By setting realistic deadlines and using them intentionally, you can transform them into allies that help you stay on track and aligned with your goals. The Stoics believed that time is our most precious resource, and deadlines serve as reminders of its finite nature. Instead of allowing deadlines to overwhelm you, think of them as guideposts that keep you moving forward. The key is to set deadlines that are both challenging and achievable. If a deadline feels too tight, it can lead to unnecessary stress and rushed work. On the other hand, if it's too loose, you might lose momentum or procrastinate. Finding the right balance is crucial. One practical way to set realistic deadlines is to break larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps. For example, if you're working on a big project, set mini deadlines for each phase of the process. This approach not only makes the task less daunting, but also gives you a sense of progress along the way. The Stoics valued discipline and consistency, and this method helps you build both by keeping you focused on one step at a time. Another Stoic-inspired tip is to use deadlines as opportunities for self-reflection. Before committing to a deadline, ask yourself, is this timeline realistic given my current commitments? Does it align with my priorities? By taking a moment to evaluate, you can avoid overpromising and ensure that your deadlines serve your goals rather than hinder them. Remember, the Stoics emphasized aligning your actions with your values, and this applies to how you manage your time as well. It's also important to build in some flexibility. Life is unpredictable and unexpected challenges can arise. The Stoics taught us to embrace these changes with resilience rather than resistance. If you find yourself falling behind schedule, don't panic. Instead, reassess your timeline and adjust as needed. This mindset shift can help you stay calm and focused even when things don't go as planned. Finally, celebrate your progress. When you meet a deadline, take a moment to acknowledge your effort and reflect on what you've accomplished. The Stoics believed in finding joy in the process, not just the outcome. By appreciating your hard work, you reinforce positive habits and stay motivated for the next challenge. As we continue, the next technique will explore the importance of practicing self-discipline, a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy that empowers you to take control of your time and actions. By cultivating this skill, you'll be better equipped to navigate life's demands with focus and purpose. Now, let's shift our focus to a principle that lies at the heart of Stoic philosophy: self-discipline. The Stoics believed that true freedom comes not from doing whatever we want, but from mastering our desires and impulses. Self-discipline, in their view, is the key to unlocking this freedom. It's about taking control of your actions, thoughts, and time, rather than letting external distractions or internal temptations dictate your path. To the Stoics, self-discipline wasn't about deprivation or punishment, it was about empowerment. By practicing self-control, you gain the ability to focus on what truly matters and align your actions with your values. This is especially important when it comes to managing your time. Without discipline, it's easy to fall into the trap of procrastination, letting distractions pull you away from your goals. But with self-discipline, you can stay on track and make consistent progress even when motivation wanes. So, how can you cultivate this essential skill? One effective daily exercise is to start small. Choose one habit or task that you've been putting off and commit to doing it for just 5 minutes each day. It could be something as simple as organizing your workspace, reading a few pages of a book, or starting a project you've been avoiding. The key is to build momentum by taking consistent, manageable steps. Over time, these small acts of discipline will strengthen your ability to tackle larger challenges. Another Stoic-inspired practice is to create a discipline trigger. This is a specific cue that reminds you to pause and reflect before acting on an impulse. For example, if you find yourself reaching for your phone to scroll through social media, use that moment as a trigger to ask yourself, is this helping me move closer to my goals? By creating these moments of reflection, you can interrupt automatic behaviors and make more intentional choices. The Stoics also emphasized the importance of accountability. Share your goals with a trusted friend or mentor and ask them to check in on your progress. Knowing that someone else is aware of your commitments can provide an extra layer of motivation to stay disciplined. Additionally, consider keeping a daily journal where you track your successes and challenges. Reflecting on your efforts can help you identify patterns and areas for improvement, reinforcing your commitment to self-discipline. Finally, remember that self-discipline is a skill that grows stronger with practice. There will be days when it feels difficult, and that's okay. The Stoics taught us to view setbacks as opportunities to learn and grow. If you slip up, don't dwell on it, simply recommit to your goals and keep moving forward. Over time, you'll find that self-discipline becomes a natural part of your routine, helping you take control of your time and achieve what truly matters. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how reflecting on role models can inspire and guide your journey toward better time management. By learning from those who exemplify discipline and focus, you can gain valuable insights to apply in your own life. Now, let's turn our attention to a powerful Stoic practice that can transform the way you approach time management. Reflecting on role models. The Stoics believed that surrounding yourself with examples of virtue and excellence could inspire and guide your own journey. By observing how others have mastered their time and priorities, you can gain valuable insights to apply in your own life. Think about someone you admire, whether it's a historical figure, a mentor, or even a colleague who demonstrates exceptional discipline and focus. What habits do they have that allow them to manage their time effectively? Perhaps they start their day with a clear plan, or they consistently prioritize tasks that align with their long-term goals. By studying their routines and mindset, you can identify strategies that resonate with you and adapt them to your own circumstances. For example, Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the qualities of his own role models, such as his adoptive father, Antoninus Pius. He admired Antoninus' ability to remain calm under pressure, his dedication to duty, and his unwavering focus on what truly mattered. These reflections helped Marcus Aurelius cultivate similar virtues in his own life. You can do the same by asking yourself, what qualities do I admire in my role models, and how can I embody those traits in my daily routine? To get started, take a moment to write down the names of 2 or 3 individuals who inspire you. Next, list the specific habits or qualities that make them effective time managers. Do they delegate tasks wisely? Do they set clear boundaries to protect their focus? Once you've identified these traits, create a plan to incorporate them into your own life. Start small, perhaps by adopting one new habit at a time, and build from there. Reflecting on role models isn't just about imitation. It's about learning from their successes and challenges to refine your own approach. Over time, you'll find that these insights help you stay motivated, focused, and aligned with your values. And as you grow, you may even become a role model for others, inspiring them to take control of their time and life with purpose. As we move forward, the next technique will explore how breaking tasks into smaller steps can help you tackle even the most overwhelming projects with confidence and clarity. By approaching challenges one step at a time, you'll find that even the biggest goals become achievable. Now, let's shift our focus to a practical Stoic technique that can help you conquer even the most daunting tasks, breaking them into smaller steps. The Stoics understood that overwhelming challenges often stem from viewing them as a single, insurmountable obstacle. Instead, they advocated for approaching problems one step at a time, focusing on what you can do in the present moment rather than being paralyzed by the enormity of the task ahead. Imagine you're faced with a massive project, a goal that feels too big to tackle all at once. The Stoic approach would be to pause, take a deep breath, and break it down into smaller, more manageable pieces. This method not only reduces stress but also allows you to make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, start by outlining a single chapter or even just a few paragraphs. By focusing on these smaller milestones, you'll build momentum and confidence as you move forward. One effective strategy is to use the divide and conquer method. Begin by identifying the major components of your project, then break each component into smaller tasks. For example, if you're planning a major event, start by listing the key areas that need attention: venue, catering, guest list, and then break each area into actionable steps. This way, you're not staring at a mountain of work, but instead focusing on one manageable hill at a time. Another Stoic-inspired approach is to set mini deadlines for each step. This creates a sense of urgency and helps you stay on track without feeling overwhelmed by the larger goal. For example, if you're working on a long-term project, set weekly or even daily targets to ensure consistent progress. This aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control, your effort and actions, rather than worrying about the final outcome. It's also helpful to celebrate small wins along the way. Each completed step is a victory, no matter how minor it may seem. Acknowledging these achievements keeps you motivated and reinforces the idea that progress, not perfection, is the goal. As Seneca wisely noted, it's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. By breaking tasks into smaller steps, you ensure that your time is spent productively and purposefully. As we move forward, the next technique will explore the Stoic virtue of patience and how cultivating it can help you stay calm and persistent, even when progress feels slow. By embracing patience, you'll find that steady, consistent effort leads to lasting results. Now, let's turn our attention to a Stoic virtue that can transform how you approach challenges and setbacks: patience. In a world that often prioritizes speed and instant results, Stoicism reminds us that true progress often requires time, persistence, and a calm, steady mindset. The Stoics believed that patience isn't just about waiting, it's about maintaining focus and composure, even when the path ahead seems long and uncertain. One of the key Stoic teachings on patience comes from Epictetus, who said, "No great thing is created suddenly." This simple yet profound idea encourages us to embrace the process rather than fixate on the outcome. When you're working toward a goal, it's easy to feel frustrated if progress feels slow or if obstacles arise. But Stoicism teaches us to view these moments as opportunities to practice patience and resilience. Instead of rushing or giving up, you can choose to stay committed, trusting that consistent effort will eventually lead to meaningful results. So, how can you cultivate patience in your daily life? One effective technique is to shift your perspective on time. Rather than seeing delays or slow progress as setbacks, reframe them as part of the journey. For example, if you're learning a new skill or working on a long-term project, remind yourself that mastery takes time. Celebrate the small improvements you make along the way, even if they seem insignificant. This mindset helps you stay motivated and reduces the frustration that often comes with impatience. Another Stoic-inspired strategy is to focus on what you can control, your actions and attitude, while letting go of what you can't, like external timelines or outcomes. When you feel impatient, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself, am I doing everything within my power to move forward? If the answer is yes, then trust that you're on the right path, even if the results aren't immediate. This approach aligns with the Stoic principle of focusing on effort rather than outcomes, helping you stay calm and persistent. Mindfulness can also play a powerful role in cultivating patience. By staying present and fully engaged in the task at hand, you can avoid the anxiety that comes from constantly worrying about the future. For instance, if you're working on a project, immerse yourself in the current step rather than obsessing over how much more there is to do. This not only reduces stress but also allows you to appreciate the process, making it easier to stay patient and focused. Finally, remember that patience is a skill that grows stronger with practice. Each time you choose to remain calm and persistent in the face of delays or challenges, you're building your capacity for patience. Over time, this virtue becomes a natural part of your approach to life, helping you navigate difficulties with grace and resilience. As we move forward, the next technique will explore the importance of celebrating small wins and how acknowledging your progress, no matter how minor, can keep you motivated and aligned with your goals. By recognizing these victories, you'll find that even the smallest steps forward contribute to your overall success. Now, let's shift our focus to a practice that can transform how you perceive progress and keep you motivated on your journey, celebrating small wins. The Stoics understood that life is a series of steps, not leaps, and that finding joy in even the smallest victories is essential for maintaining momentum and staying aligned with your goals. This technique isn't just about patting yourself on the back. It's about recognizing the value of incremental progress and using it to fuel your drive. Marcus Aurelius, one of Stoicism's most famous practitioners, often reflected on the importance of appreciating the present moment and the progress he made, no matter how modest. He wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." This idea reminds us that our mindset shapes our experience. When you take the time to acknowledge and celebrate small wins, you're cultivating a positive, forward-thinking attitude that reinforces your commitment to growth. So, how can you apply this Stoic principle in your own life? Start by redefining what success looks like. Instead of waiting for major milestones to feel accomplished, train yourself to notice and appreciate the smaller steps along the way. For example, if you're working on a big project, celebrate completing a single task or making a small improvement. If you're learning a new skill, take pride in mastering a basic technique or understanding a challenging concept. These moments might seem minor, but they're the building blocks of long-term success. Another way to embrace this practice is to keep a journal of your achievements. At the end of each day, write down at least one thing you accomplished, no matter how small. This could be finishing a chapter of a book, sticking to your schedule, or even just maintaining a positive attitude during a tough day. Over time, this habit helps you see how far you've come, even when progress feels slow. It's a powerful reminder that every effort counts. Celebrating small wins also helps combat the feeling of being overwhelmed. When you're working toward a big goal, it's easy to feel daunted by the sheer scale of what lies ahead. But by breaking your journey into smaller, manageable steps and celebrating each one, you create a sense of momentum and control. This approach aligns with the Stoic belief in focusing on what you can do today, rather than worrying about the distant future. Finally, remember that celebrating small wins isn't just about personal satisfaction, it's about building resilience. Life is full of challenges and progress isn't always linear. By finding joy in the small victories, you're training yourself to stay motivated and optimistic, even when the road gets tough. This mindset not only helps you stay on track, but also makes the journey itself more enjoyable. As we wrap up this section, take a moment to reflect on your own progress. What small wins can you celebrate today? By acknowledging these moments, you're not just honoring your efforts, you're reinforcing the Stoic belief that every step forward, no matter how small, is a step toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Next, we'll explore a bonus technique that builds on these ideas, offering even more ways to reclaim your time and focus. Now, let's turn our attention to a modern challenge that the Stoics might have found fascinating: the constant pull of technology. In a world where screens and notifications demand our attention at every turn, the Stoic principle of simplicity offers a powerful antidote. This brings us to our first bonus technique, the digital detox. Inspired by the Stoic emphasis on focusing on what truly matters, a digital detox is about intentionally stepping away from technology to reclaim your time, focus, and mental clarity. The Stoics believed in living a life free from unnecessary distractions, and in today's world, technology often serves as one of the biggest sources of distraction. Think about it. How many times have you picked up your phone to check a message, only to find yourself scrolling aimlessly for minutes or even hours? These small interruptions add up, stealing precious time and fragmenting your focus. A digital detox helps you break this cycle by creating space for intentional living. So how can you start? Begin by setting clear boundaries. Designate specific times during the day when you'll disconnect from your devices. For example, you might decide to avoid checking your phone for the first hour after waking up or the last hour before bed. These tech-free windows allow you to start and end your day with clarity and purpose, rather than being pulled into the endless stream of information. Another practical step is to create physical distance from your devices. When you're working on an important task, try placing your phone in another room or turning off notifications. This simple act reduces the temptation to check your phone and helps you stay focused on the task at hand. Remember, the Stoics valued self-discipline, and this is a small but powerful way to practice it in your daily life. You can also use technology to your advantage by leveraging tools that support your detox. Apps that track screen time or block distracting websites can help you stay accountable. Set goals for reducing your daily usage and celebrate when you meet them, just as we discussed in the previous section. Over time, you'll find that these small changes lead to significant improvements in your productivity and peace of mind. Finally, consider dedicating one day a week to a full digital detox. Use this time to reconnect with yourself and the world around you. Read a book, take a walk in nature, or spend quality time with loved ones. Activities that align with the Stoic ideal of living a meaningful, present-focused life. By stepping away from screens, you'll gain a fresh perspective and rediscover the joy of simplicity. As we wrap up this section, take a moment to reflect on your relationship with technology. Are there areas where you could simplify and reclaim your time? By embracing the Stoic principle of intentional living, you can create a healthier balance and focus on what truly matters. Next, we'll explore another bonus technique that builds on these ideas, offering even more ways to enhance your time management and focus. Now, let's shift our focus to a simple yet transformative practice that can help you regain control over your attention and time: the Stoic pause. This technique is rooted in the Stoic belief that we have the power to choose how we respond to the world around us. By taking a moment to pause before reacting to distractions or interruptions, you create space to act with intention rather than impulsivity. Imagine this: you're deep in concentration, working on an important project, when suddenly your phone buzzes with a notification. The instinctive reaction might be to immediately check it, but here's where the Stoic pause comes in. Instead of reacting on autopilot, you take a brief moment to pause and ask yourself, is this interruption worth my attention right now? This small act of reflection allows you to decide whether the distraction aligns with your priorities or if it's better to let it go. The Stoic pause isn't just about resisting distractions, it's also a tool for maintaining emotional balance. For example, If someone interrupts you with a request or criticism, taking a pause before responding can prevent you from reacting out of frustration or defensiveness. This moment of stillness gives you the clarity to respond thoughtfully, preserving both your focus and your relationships. To incorporate the Stoic pause into your daily life, start by practicing it in small, manageable ways. When you feel the urge to check your phone or respond to an email immediately, pause for a few seconds. Use this time to take a deep breath and remind yourself of your current task or goal. Over time, this practice will become second nature, helping you stay focused and productive even in the face of constant interruptions. Another way to use the Stoic pause is during transitions between tasks. Instead of rushing from one activity to the next, take a moment to pause and mentally prepare for what's ahead. This brief reset helps you approach each task with a clear mind and renewed energy, reducing the mental clutter that often comes with multitasking. By embracing the Stoic pause, you're not just managing your time better, you're cultivating a deeper sense of presence and control. It's a reminder that you have the power to choose where your attention goes, even in a world full of distractions. As we move forward, we'll explore another bonus technique that builds on these principles, offering even more ways to enhance your focus and productivity. Now, let's turn our attention to a practice that can transform how you approach your week, the Stoic weekly planning ritual. This technique is all about setting aside dedicated time to reflect on the past week and prepare for the one ahead. It's a powerful way to align your actions with your values and ensure you're making the most of your time. The Stoics believed in the importance of regular reflection and intentional planning. By carving out time each week to review your progress and set clear intentions, you create a roadmap that keeps you focused and grounded. This isn't just about writing a to-do list, it's about connecting your daily tasks to your larger goals and purpose. To start your weekly planning ritual, find a quiet moment, ideally at the end or beginning of your week. Begin by reflecting on the past 7 days. Ask yourself questions like, what went well? What challenges did I face, and what lessons can I carry forward? This reflection helps you identify patterns, celebrate wins, and learn from setbacks. Next, shift your focus to the week ahead. Consider your priorities and what truly matters to you. Write down your top 3 to 5 goals for the week, ensuring they align with your long-term vision. Break these goals into smaller, actionable steps and assign specific times to work on them. This approach not only makes your goals more manageable but also helps you stay on track. A key part of the Stoic weekly planning ritual is anticipating potential obstacles. Think about what might derail your progress and how you can prepare for those challenges. This proactive mindset, rooted in the Stoic practice of premeditation, allows you to face difficulties with resilience and adaptability. Finally, take a moment to visualize your ideal week. Imagine yourself staying focused, productive, and calm, even when things don't go as planned. This mental rehearsal primes your mind for success and reinforces your commitment to your goals. By making this weekly planning ritual a consistent habit, you'll find yourself more intentional, less reactive, and better equipped to handle whatever comes your way. It's a simple yet profound way to bring Stoic principles into your daily life, helping you manage your time with clarity and purpose. As we wrap up our exploration of Stoic techniques, let's take a moment to reflect on how these practices can work together to transform your relationship with time. As we bring our journey through these 25 Stoic techniques to a close, it's clear that Stoicism offers more than just philosophical wisdom. It provides practical, actionable tools for mastering your time and ultimately your life. From reflecting on mortality to embracing simplicity, each technique is designed to help you focus on what truly matters, reduce distractions, and live with intention. These practices aren't just theoretical ideas, they're timeless strategies that can be applied to your daily routine, helping you navigate the chaos of modern life with clarity and purpose. Think about how these techniques can work together. Starting your day with morning reflection sets the tone for intentionality, while evening reviews help you learn and grow from each day's experiences. Time blocking keeps you focused, and the power of saying no ensures you're dedicating your energy to what aligns with your values. By embracing Stoic principles like the dichotomy of control and amor fati, you'll find yourself less stressed by external events and more resilient in the face of challenges. The beauty of these techniques lies in their simplicity and adaptability. Whether you're a busy professional, a student, or someone seeking a more balanced life, these practices can be tailored to fit your unique circumstances. The key is to start small. Pick one or two techniques that resonate with you and commit to integrating them into your routine. Over time, you'll notice a shift in how you approach your days, less reactive, more intentional, and deeply aligned with your goals. Now it's your turn to take action. Which of these Stoic techniques will you try first? Share your thoughts and progress in the comments below. Let's build a community of like-minded individuals who are committed to mastering their time and living with purpose. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on more practical wisdom to transform your life. Remember, the journey to better time management begins with a single step, so take that step today.